Okay.
That way they can hear you.
Yep.
And then this one, where you be on that one. Or if you had somebody, coming in.
Okay.
And it is already recording and stuff, and you have full control of stopping and whatnot.
What's it recording?
Uh,
Whatever I share,
right.
right?
Right here, so what you want to do is whenever you, what you do is you split share. And then I would do this, here's one, so if you're gonna do this one, you do this screen. Because this is the one that I'm not mistaken goes to the projector. So now anything you put on the screen will be recorded.
Appreciate
And
it.
everything, and the camera is coming here, so they'll get that too.
Yeah.
Not a problem. And then, like I said, I would always recommend sharing the screen. That way, some people share individual
Programs on the
like
pain,
program,
yeah, I don't
but then
do
you
that.
have to stop it and start it for every little thing.
Right, yeah, I don't do that.
So, yeah. And that's the only thing that's a pain is if you do that, then you have to stop and start for every single thing and it becomes a hassle.
Right.
And that,
And then normally if I need to pause it or anything, I just have to go to my Zoom.
if you want to pause the recording, you can just hit pause.
That's regular Zoom.
Yeah, it's just like if you're doing it from the office and stuff.
Yeah, it's just not built in like the other one.
Yes.
Downstairs. Yeah. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah.
Start at 11. I'll probably wait for about 3 minutes after 11, just say sorry. You guys can chat. It's a little or this is the county 221 principles of accounting. Paul, good chat. Pull down in the right place and you're in the right place. Walking in, I said I'd give about 3 minutes, before I get started, so about 11:03. There, I have rostered about 37 people, so we're short of that right. So,
How's it? How's it?
Yeah. That's weird. I do that for the sound and just to avoid disruption. If for some reason you're coming in late, just come in, sit down, not to disrupt class. It's not like I'm locking that door and saying, don't come in, all right? It happens. It's a real world. You're gonna be late once in a while, it happens. This is accounting 221, section 01, in person, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My name is Paul Goodchild. I do have my doctorate in accounting from University of Connecticut. Kind of stuff about me is super important, but this is my 20th year teaching. Got my degree from UMass and then went to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers. Then got my master's and my PhD. And in between, I've also worked for United Technologies, which I think merged into Raytheon and split off Otis Elevator and Carrier Air Conditioning. So you might have heard of those companies. And then Raytheon changed its name. It's something to do with defense now. So the world changes very fast in 20 years. So not all up to date on all of the audit stuff, but I know how the field is going. I keep track of it. I keep track of how the CPA exam is going. I know most of you are not accounting students. This course is to more expose you to what we do in principles of accounting. It's not to make you accountants, okay? So if you're nervous about it, I've done lots of different jobs in accounting. Accounting is not just taxes. This is going to focus on financial accounting. Right? So if today we're just going to walk through some of the stuff, talk about the processes. I don't know if you guys know, it does help me a little bit if you guys put kind of pictures of yourselves into Canvas, so I can kind of get to identify you when you send me a message and stuff. Some people have them, but a lot of people don't. I don't make the people available to everybody, so that's only seen by me. Right? That may not be the case in your other classes. So if you have a picture, throw it in there. If not, don't worry about it. All right, so your view may look similar to mine. Just gonna click on Canvas and go to our class. And so principles. It should be available to you. I apologize. I thought the system automatically made it available last night. It did not, so it didn't send out my announcement, and the synchronization with the dates may be a little funky. So I am looking over the assignment dates right now, matching them up with the syllabus, but other than that, everything should be ready to go in here and you should be able to sign up. So you should be able to click on the Cengage link. And you should be able to go through and sign up. For me, it shows up different than yours, but you'll click on student purchase required. There is a purchase required. If for some reason you're like, I'm only here to check this course out and I'm not 100% sure I want to do it, there is a temporary access to it that they don't charge you anything for. You want to make sure if you sign up for that temporary access and you stay in the course, that you convert it to full access as soon as possible. Or, you know, when probably, you know, you're staying in the course. And like I said, there is a charge to it. I'm not sure how much. If you need to pay it through the bookstore or your loans or something like that, I believe that is available. You can get a card in the bookstore. I'm not sure on the price, whether or not it'll be exactly the same as clicking on here or not. Usually a bookstore, if they have a code, charges you a few extra dollars for it. So I apologize. I don't know about that. But basically what you'll get with this is you'll get an ebook and you'll get access to their e-system, which they call See Now V2. It's their homework system. In a class with 40 students, providing you individual feedback on all of your homework would be very challenging. So this is a good system for that. The way that I use it is first, I expect you to do kind of an adaptive practice, what it's called for most of the chapters. And what it is kind of, have you read the chapter, or you can do it kind of as you're reading the chapter. And it just asks you, it calls it a quiz. It is not a quiz. What it is it just kind of asks you questions about the reading to make sure that you absorb the material. Now, if you just want to try to click through it and get the right answers, it will ask you more questions. It's adaptive. It uses some form of AI. So if you try to cheat it, it will take longer for you to do that. So best thing to do, read it, and then read the chapter, do the questions. Usually that'll be before the class. All right. Again, when you sign up for it, make sure you use the same email address that's in Canvas, okay? Make sure that you set it up. If you set it up for temporary, you convert it. If for some reason you are having financial difficulties, I may or may not be able to help you, probably not, but please don't let it go. I may be able to get you a slight extension on the temporary period. I know these things are expensive. I know if they all come at once, it may be more difficult. I have gotten them to extend it another 7 to 10 days at times if somebody needed that. So don't wait, because if you tell me halfway through the semester you haven't had access to the book, I'm going to go, I can't do it. Okay, so let's try to make sure we talk about any problems. If you are a student who has disabilities and you work with our disability center, I will send you out an email confirming I have the information. If you haven't done that yet and you need accommodations such as time and a half for testing or notes, I should have let you know at the beginning of class. I apologize. This is being recorded because I do have students that need the recording of the class. So I will be posting this, and it will be the best captions that Studio can do. So some of the captions may not be great, but it will be posted each class, probably the day after it's done in class, because I have to make sure that it gets captions. I have to download it. So probably the day after. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say the Cengage tab isn't populating on the student view.
At all? So like it's a technical issue
Yeah,
for you?
I see the library resources, and then under that it's grades and nothing else.
Yeah, is anybody else having trouble accessing Cengage too? Okay, all right. Or is it Canvas, I'm sorry, or is it Cengage?
It's on Canvas.
So it's on Canvas, all right. You're not able to see your courses. So like if you went to the dashboard, you wouldn't see any courses?
Oh, no, I can see the courses. If you go back to the other page.
Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. Here,
So you have the menu on the left-hand side of the screen.
yep, did I
You
not?
have library resources, and underneath that you have Cengage.
Yeah,
Under library resources, I have grades and then
Okay.
nothing else. There's no Cengage tab.
oh, that's weird. All right, so go ahead and click on just assignments, and then you can click on any one, and it will take you to that same sign up screen. Thank you though for letting me know that. And it should take you that. This will be what your view is initially, but we'll get back to that in a second. Okay. Let me know if that didn't work, please go ahead. It says it's it says it's on the course or the book.
Chapter, I pressed chapter 1 homework, it says that's assigned as part of the published watch, it's not available.
But it says it's available after January 10th by 12 a.m. It's
Okay.
12.
That's weird. Yeah, some of the, okay, so some of the assignments might have. Oh, wrong dates, now let's see. – January 10th, that should be available. So that one should be available if you're on the adaptive. And then you should have the adaptive and it should be opened up for you guys.
That's still on public.
Okay, so maybe it has to synchronize or something like that. I'm not sure why it's doing that yet, but it is, the course is published. Maybe it's not picking up that because I just unpublished or I just published this course. So maybe that's talking to that system and it thinks it's not published yet. So give it a couple hours. And we'll see how that goes. We don't have anything immediately due, but I am going to be looking at the dates. So once we get into the course here, first thing you should do is take a look at the syllabus. It opens up to that page. And you want to walk through the syllabus. I'm not going to talk you through everything. These are our course learning outcomes. Those I think are important. This is when you leave this class, what we expect you to know. All right. We try to tie in the chapter learnings and with those specific so that, you understand where the course is going. The materials are just required there. You can get a, paper printed type book if you wanted one. It is an extra cost. All right, let me know if you need that. This is our course content, straightforward. Late work. So if you look, I don't accept late work. If you have an excuse, I will extend an assignment for you ahead of time. If not, usually it'll have to be one of the drops. So we have enough assignments in here where we have 2 drops for each assignment class. So typically, you miss 1, not a big deal. You miss 2, not a big deal. You miss 3, it starts to cut into your grade, okay? Homework, all gonna be on C now V2, except for some stuff that we do in class. And then there'll be 3 exams. They'll be online. They're gonna be using the lockdown browser. Okay. And what I do with the exams is I schedule them to be available on Thursday. Probably this course meets Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so it'll probably be after the Friday class. And you'll have from Friday to Monday, or excuse me, to Sunday night to complete it. Okay, you just do it anytime that you have time during that. Typically, if I require you to do an online class, it'll be in lieu, or excuse me, if I require you to do the exam online, it will be in lieu of a Friday class. Okay, because that class time I'm taking away from you, so I'm giving you that time back to do the exam. Okay, that makes sense? All right, but you don't have to do it Friday during your class time. You can do it anytime during the week. Okay, and like I said, the dates right now, don't worry about the dates on what's showing in Canvas. Look at the schedule, and I'll pull that up in a second. All right, how the grade breaks down, that should say exam. 1, 2, and 3. You have about 4 chapters in each. All right, and then you have your homework, and then the 800 total points possible. We have a little bit of a data analytics that we're adding to this course. As of right now, I can't add it to the grade, but I'll find out on the 21st if I can add it to grade. I won't. It'll just change this breakdown a little bit. You'll see when we go to the homework that there's 3 different types of learning out there for you. All right. So your responsibilities, before we get to the chapter, please try to read the chapter. I don't expect you to understand everything through. I don't expect you to teach yourself. You're here in an in-person class because you think that I can help you, so I completely understand. But if you skim through it, you make sure you understand it and then do that adaptive practice, then we'll be speaking the same language. The adaptive practice is not going to ask you hard questions. It's just kind of 1 or 2 or questions related to what you read. Right? Sometimes they have you do a quick calculation one, but it's usually fairly straightforward. Pick this amount or that amount kind of thing, not deep in depth. Those are questions that we're going to do on homework. So try to prepare. When you have questions, please ask for open arm. Shoot me an email. whenever you have questions, I try to always be available. I believe my cell phone number's on here. You can text me. If it's urgent, you can call me. I use Google Call Screener, so the first time you call, it'll run you through the rigmarole of that, asking you who you are. All right. But I put it out there because occasionally people have needed it. I can do bail up to $25 for any non-violent civil fractions. Okay, just kidding. All right. Additional course information is relatively straightforward. Your student success, academic honesty. University doesn't have a full and complete policy of it, but if you're going to do AI, which you won't have to in this class, you shouldn't be using it on your homework. A, it's not that good, and B, you know, it's cheating, and it's only cheating you. All right, but you'll have feedback on your questions, and it'll be straightforward. You're not writing papers in this class, so it's not as much of a risk. All right, all the information, your protections, it's all here in the syllabus. Please take time to read it. If you have any questions now or about it in the future, please email me. Okay, so then you got the schedule. Right now, this is the plan for things. So most of your stuff will be due on the Sunday, you know, before we start the chapter. And then your homework will be kind of after we've been discussing the chapter. Okay. Typically Sundays, you can see the exams are going to be due on Monday. So I apologize. You'll have basically till Monday to complete the exam Monday night. So that's going to be our schedule. You kind of add up your points, deduct your two lowest, and then divide your score by 800, which is already in there. If you want to download this and use it to kind of keep track, you'll see where your grade is. All right, you want to do it, it'll just tell you a percentage, and you'll just have to compare. Any questions? All right, so now to discussions. So this is an introduction about me. There's a response to it. It's 5 extra credit points for you. Just asks you about you, your life, what's going on, so I can kind of get to know you a little bit. You do not have to get too personal because everybody else in class will see it. So please only share what you are comfortable with and know that everybody else will see it. You can read mine. I find it's easier for people to write rather than go around the classroom asking your name and information about you. Do you want to get to know your names and bases? Better than saying, hey, you, or that guy with the Raiders hat. Just tease. My Eagles went out last night and I'm sad. Yeah. So head in there. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself. You got me. Can't make you call me it, but that's my nickname I give myself. All right, and then a few questions about yourself, you just reply and add them in there. All right. Your assignments. So the introduction is here. We'll probably have opportunities for extra credit if you go to a university sponsored event, either on or off. You just upload yourself a picture at the event, a selfie, and maybe like the little card that they give you, and I will give you extra credit. Usually the max extra credit is 2. I think I'm going to take 3 this year, so it'll be 3 of those. Your adaptive assignments are here by chapter. Then you have your homework assignments after the chapter. Exam related information. Right now you're seeing 2, but that's just because of the way I downloaded it. But you'll have a practice exam, which is here, just for some reason is not showing on this page, for each of the exams. And then down here, you'll have a comprehensive exam. You do not have to take the comprehensive exam unless you miss one of the other exams for an excused reason. So if you look at the syllabus, it says, hey, if you miss an exam, those questions and answers are out there as of the date of the exam. But if it was due to an emergency or university excused process, you will take the comprehensive exam at the end. It will replace that grade. Okay? And then if you want to get to the other rules in this, you have the exam practice stuff, you have videos. So if for some reason you miss the class, I'm going to be posting videos here. I was taught to use Canvas Studio over the break, so I'm going to try to be putting them in Canvas. But if you're like, oh, I'm short on time, this will take you out to my YouTube page. Now, it says Schnoodles and Snoofertons dog pack. That is my dog's. It is the same page. It was my page, but I haven't moved everything over. As you can imagine, once you start to build something and then you change it, it's a headache. But basically, if for some reason you're gonna have an extended out and you want to check out notes from one of the classes that I've done before and my video isn't up yet for this class, you can go ahead and check out previous teaching. This is that all disclosure from another university, but it is the exact same course. Okay, course information and everything like that. Right, so that is available to you. I share that with my online students. When I do notes in class, I will save them here. So once the video comes from Canvas, if I do anything on Excel in class, I'll upload it here. Okay, so if you missed that class, but you want to follow along and you want to look at my Excel file and see what I did, click on that. All right. Again, I don't know why that's showing twice, but oh, it's just from the assignment module. Okay. And then here are the templates. So if you were to say miss chapter 1 and you wanted to walk through that video, so you go out and say, okay, let's take a look at chapter 1. You get up to this video, you'd have this handout and it would kind of walk you through this handout, okay? So they match up. I think the first one does chapter 1 and 2, but if you wanted more practice or you wanted to see anything that you might have missed, that video will take you through that sheet. Now, how do I intend on doing this course? Because it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you look at this sheet and you keep it with you, whether you're typing with it or you print it out and you decide to write with it as you're doing the notes, you know, you can kind of see what I consider important, you know, make some notes here. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to look at the basic financial statements in that chapter. I've got an example here, and then I'm going to walk you through that example. There's not a ton on chapter 1's handout, but if you go to chapter 2, you know, each one you'll see has the contents there. We get more and more. So this one kind of gives you a little bit more. So as you're going through and reading chapters 1 and 2, you know, what is an asset? You can kind of make your notes there to yourself. When we come into class on Monday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the examples in here. So I'll say, let's go over this practice. Let's talk about this practice example. All right. Then I'll talk about, you know, what's a trial balance. And basically, I'll stick to the examples and the practice questions. Okay. From each of these sheets on Monday, that's my goal. Okay. On Wednesday, we'll jump in and we'll do some of the homework in class. All right, and then on Friday, we'll either do a little more homework or it'll be data analytics, which is all included in there. So you'll see all this when you go out to your assignments. You have the adapted, the homework. And have some data analytics that we'll go over on Friday using our accounting content that we've learned. Any questions there on the plans? Okay, so I think everything else is pretty much straightforward or individualized. If you have any questions, please let me know. Like I said, jump on, get signed up. If you have any difficulty or you think you were going to, get an email out to me quickly. In the discussions, if you have questions sort of the whole class might benefit from, and it's not personalized to you, you can throw it out there and ask me a question. If it's something personalized to you, please remember the whole class sees discussions and things like that. So send me an email. Remember, I can't really talk about grades because of FERPA via email, but I can, handle most stuff and make arrangements to meet with you and talk with you. But if there are no questions, you're free to go, and I'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll kind of work through chapter 1 and 2's notes because they don't jive exactly with the chapter 1 here. All you have to do is look through chapter 1. All right. Thank you. Have a great first day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.